You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
High atop one of the hills which ring the teeming metropolis of Gotham City, a large house rears its bulk against the dark sky. Outwardly, there's nothing to distinguish this house from many others. But deep in the cavernous basements of this house, in a chamber hewn from the living rock of the mountain, is the strange, dimly lighted, mysteriously secret Bat's Cave, hidden headquarters of America's #1 crime fighter, Batman. Yes, Batman, clad in the somber costume which has struck terror to the heart of many a swaggering denizen of the underworld. Batman, who even now is pondering the plans of a new assault against the forces of crime. A crushing blow against evil in which he will have the valuable aid of his young, two-fisted assistant, Robin, the Boy Wonder. They represent American youth who love their country and are glad to fight for it. Wherever crime raises its ugly head to strike with the venom of a maddened rattlesnake, Batman and Robin strike also. And in this very hour when the Axis criminals are spreading their evil over the world, even within our own land, Batman and Robin stand ready to fight them to the death.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good morning, everyone. This is Walter at iWalter at 4:18 on September 26th. am starting the morning. This is the latest show I've ever done. I don't know why I'm even doing one. I actually spend the last couple hours and a little bit of time at work tonight watching these Batmans from the 40s. That's actually what I started. Give me a moment. I'm going to go grab this box, this DVD box. Okay, I probably shouldn't do it that way, but I didn't want to pause it. Yeah, if you actually want to watch these, they're from the 40s. 1949, 15 chapters. 1943, actually, is the first season that they actually did this Batman series. From 1943, there was 15 episodes. It was like shown on the big screen. They were like, it was a mini series shown on the big screen in the movie theater. Batman and Robin, they both had Batman and Robin. It was 49 to, was 15 episodes. I'm just looking at the box. The complete 1940s movie series collection, it's like a couple bucks. You can buy it for like $5, I think. Maybe more, a little bit more, a little bit less, but that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, the first series was back in 1943. I don't know why they had taken such a large span, and then they returned again in 1949 to do another series. Again, it was kind of like a Buck Rogers thing, probably actually exactly like Buck Rogers. It's just funny because when you watch these TV shows or mini-series of movies, whatever, it kind of, the Batman one reminds me a lot like Superman with George Reeves with those like ridiculous fights where they kind of speed up the motion of them knocking each other out. I guess that was the whole thing when they made Batman again back in what was that, the late 60s or something, or somewhere in the 60s, with Adam West. They kind of made fun of that, I guess, a little bit. They put more humor into the fight scenes and stuff, and, added other things. Now, I think the original Batman of these series, actually his cowl, that's what it's called, COWL, that's the thing he wears on his head, was a bit different, but it was actually black, because in the new movies and stuff, I was ready to say series, but the new movies, everything's black. But yeah, his original costume, when they actually brought him to the big screen, literally, Batman, back in the 40s, he did have, I think it was gray and a black cowl. And I think his cape was black too. Because if I'm correct, now it was in black and white, you couldn't tell, but I think I looked up pictures and seeing. And his ears on his head were kind of ridiculous. They looked like devil horns almost on his head. When they got to Adam West, obviously it looked a little bit better. The way the costume was cut, and it looked like Long John underwear too that he was wearing, the Batman from this series here from the 40s, and it kind of reminded me of almost George Reeves, because George Reeves' costume, his Superman costume, looked like Long John underwear also. They were a little bit more of a tight kind of material, I guess. Obviously, when Adam West did it, they obviously did make it look more like tights, but yeah. There was no villains that you would recognize. There were the villain mainly was villains like cops and robber villains throughout at least the first series. I haven't finished yet, so I can't really say much more. Anyway, yeah. So this weekend, this Saturday, actually, at the house. At a house. I'm sorry, I got distracted by these little ridiculous things. Down in Philadelphia, I should say, we're actually having this weekend, and they're going to be closing roads. We're having the Pope. So roads as far as up in Lansdale and all through Pennsylvania, on this neck of the woods of Pennsylvania, a lot of the roads will be closed down, and people will be detoured. Simply because of the Pope being in Philly, and a lot of people are staying outside of the city and basically taking trains in. So that's going to mess up the whole entire area of like King of Prussia and Norristown as well, Lansdale included. Anyway, yeah, I pulled up a couple quick stories. I figured I could just kind of go through and try to sabotage them not too much. But I just saw this, and I just put it on my Facebook page. If you want to see something unusual, to say the least, check out this thing. It's on YouTube, actually, and it's called, it's titled The Weird Side of the Internet. And, yeah, you will find everything, and including, and it seemed like it was no joke, actual snuff. Now, snuff films are supposed to not be, real. Not saying they're not, but you kind of hope they're not, because if you're not familiar with a snuff film is basically when you really do torture and sexually assault a person, and you end up basically afterwards kill them. And the whole entire time it's supposed to be not fake, it's supposed to be real, and the whole purpose is that people get pleasure out of it, I guess, but it gets filmed. There are snuff films. So, they're saying, these are real snuff films and some other crazy crap on this, amongst other things on that one link. Again, it's called The Weird Side of the Internet. Now, again, I mean, there's even a guy who makes this old man who makes cover songs, who apparently most of the songs that he covers were for his people that he had crushes on in the past, and basically they were little kids. So the guy's a pedophiliac. So yeah, Edward Mascara. You can see all this stuff on this Weird Side of the Internet thing. And then it was this person named Carrie, who basically is a transsexual, but always wears these these women costumes. Like it's a full size, like a love doll kind of costume. So you don't know what the person really looks like, because they always have these unusual looking rubberized costumes on constantly. Like they don't ever show the real face. So nobody knows what this person looks like. But there's these are like, okay, if you want to see some weird sights, they mention it in this YouTube video. I'm just trying to see. Thank you, Todd. He sent me a couple stories. I'm going to just read through these because it is Going to be probably one of my shortest shows, considering the time frame that I'm in right now. So he sent me an article, Todd did, Fox29.com. Teen fights off would-be robber with a tire iron. So it's pretty interesting. Polk County deputies are crediting a 17-year-old with fighting off a dangerous would-be armed robber. Apparently, this kid was going to visit his or pick up a check. I don't know if it was him or his mother works at like one of these gas station mini mart type places. This is A+. Well, let me see. Investigators say Luther Dunn, 32, approached Nate Stewart, 17, Friday while he was alone in his mom's car outside of a Sunoco. That's what it was, on US 92 East near Lakeland. So apparently his mom was going in to get her check, and the kid got held up with a knife at knife point by this guy, and a kid just basically beat the crap out of this this person who was the apprehender. Deputies say Dunn demanded money from the teen at knife point. The teen then ran inside the gas station where his mom works, and when he came back out, Dunn approached again. According to the police report, Stewart opened the trunk of his mom's car and grabbed a tire iron and beat Dunn into submission and body slammed him to the ground. So the kid did not back down. Yes, he's a pretty big kid. So, I guess he was just, obviously it was self-defense. The mom said I think she might have saw part of this whole situation, and she said when she saw her son body slam this guy was threatening her son, that she said she thought her son had broken the guy's neck, which he didn't. And this guy was apparently had tried to hold up this lady's son, is a repeat offender, criminal offender. So this time, maybe he might learn his lesson, we hope. Nate picked him up, flipped him. This was a 17-year-old. Flipped him upside down and dropped him on his head. I thought he broke his neck. Again, that's what his mom said. Her name's Kim Stewart. Nate Stewart told Fox 13 he would do it. He did what he had to do. The mother says, I'm very proud of him and didn't realize that he was that strong, though. Kim Stewart. Anyway, Dunn was arrested after the incident and faces charges for attempt of armed robbery. It says deputies say Dunn is a 7-time convicted felon and was assigned a $40,000 bond. So, there you go. Oh, by the way, before I forget, it was kind of the thing about this Batman, not only was it can't be closed, I guess. I mean, at that time, it was probably, hey, this was pretty cool. And I guess it does fit why they would use, like, the cops and robbers theme. Because if you think about it, Spider-Man, Superman and Batman were both DC Comics. And DC stood for Detective Comics. So, you know what I mean? Well, Detective Comics would mean cops and robbers to me, too. So they kind of stuck with the theme of, the comics, but they also stuck with, that actually would be more accurate for DC Comics again. It's just been hyphened to DC, but it really meant Detective Comics back in the day. But, the kid, it was the boy Wonder, was this kid. He looked like, I don't mean to be offensive, but he looked like a Jewish kid. And he had this really thick, nappy, curly hair, like he had a big bush on his head. So it looked kind of ridiculous. And when he was in his Robin costume, all you see is like this. It's a white. It looked like a Jewish kid. I don't know how else to put it. But his hair was so freaking like bushed out that it looks like the mask he would wear, because the costumes were very similar to almost. I guess they used some of the ideas for the one with Adam West and Burt Ward. But this kid, Burt Ward looked really good back in the day. He looked like, that's what I think of when I think of the Boy Wonder. But when you see this predecessor, this kid had a big bush on the top of his head. And, it barely, like his mask, you couldn't even, see his mask because his hair was so wild and so bushy, this kid who played the Boy Wonder, that my eyes always focus on this big, like bush on his head than that he has a mask on, because it's covered up by almost. It's not, but it seems that way. So it's kind of goofy. It's pretty interesting. I'm watching. I'm trying to. Again, you can pick it up anywhere for like a couple bucks. Brand new. Alrighty. Stories are all from Todd tonight. So this one was from uprocks.com. And it says, this Taco Bell employee, it's titled that, was fired after being caught with his hand in a bad place, basically the back of his down the back of his shorts, his underwear. So they made a kind of a joke because there was that scene in Mallrats, Kevin Smith, this movie as Mallrats, where you basically with the character Brody, you stick your hand, if you hate somebody, you stick your hand down the back of your pants and get it smelling nice, basically put your hand up your ass crack, pull it out, and then put it in a bag of chocolates and give it to somebody to eat. That was the premise in Mallrats, and they kind of did a comparison picture with that and this kid who got caught putting his hands down the back of his pants, this guy, and got fired from Taco Bell. It says, first I'd like to relate to the true story. One day while sitting outside an unnamed popular fast food chain, well, they did name it. It said Taco Bell. I witnessed a woman in a kitchen apron walk out of the front door, then reach beneath the apron and into the front of her pants. So this one actually was a different place. But they do mention this guy getting fired from Taco Bell. So this one they're not mentioning. What she received wasn't clear, but it was clear is that she placed the object situated between her forefinger and her thumb up to her nose to examine the origin. So she basically put her fingers in her twat. This lady, this person who wrote this article said that he caught some woman putting her hand between her twat, pulling out, and then trying to smell it. I suppose to say that I'm skeptical on fast food restaurants since then is an understatement. Then it leads into those similar fears of unsanitary conditions in roadside respites will not take too kindly to the tale either. And it shows above a picture, if you go to this link on Uprocks, was snapped by a woman in Ohio who entered a Taco Bell only to be treated by a worker, presumably covering the lost secret of Dr. Gluteus, glutes, basically your ass, Dr. Gluteus, Gold. The woman not only posted it to Taco Smell's Facebook, but she and sent it to the news outlet as well. And this pic went viral, and the Erie County Health Department investigated the matter, resulting in Taco Bell firing the booty pirate. Here's Taco Bell's statement to ABC 12. Well, it's actually really short. I probably could read this. This is completely unacceptable. The franchise took immediate action and has terminated an employee who retrained the entire staff, and they retrained the entire staff. We want customers to know that the person in the photo was never in contact with food and that the health department inspected the restaurant and approved its operations. To be fair, the dumper digger gentleman was only doing what Kevin Smith taught him. That's pretty funny. So they're blaming it on Kevin Smith. Way to go. Now, my friend sent this as a joke. I think she's cute. This poor girl, she gets picked on all the time. It's Lizzie. She's this girl who, no matter how much she eats, she can't gain weight. So she's basically looks like she's skin and bones. And I feel so bad because you hear her talk. She's got a really cute, mousy voice. And I think she's cute. And I feel so bad that she gets picked on so severely. So a friend sent it to me. And it was on uprocks.com. And it's under movies. Basically, Lizzie battles the bullies in a Braveheart documentary about her life. So, I don't know. I think she's just cute. I don't know. Call me weird, gross, whatever. I'm not trying to pronounce her last name, as you may have noticed, because it's in here. When Lizzie, 26, was born, she was 4 weeks premature and 2 pounds, 11 ounces. Born in a rare with a rare syndrome that prevents her from gaining weight, Lizzie was tormented by peers as early as in kindergarten for looking different. By the time she was in high school, she felt she had triumphed the bullies until at the age of 17, she stumbled on YouTube videos of herself that labeled her the world's ugliest woman. That is really horrible. There's more to this article if you would like to read it. Again, I think she's just cute. I don't know. I feel so bad. I love to meet her if I ever could, but it's not going to happen. I think she's from like Texas or something. But it is on Uprocks. I don't know if the friend was trying to be sarcastic. I just feel really bad for the poor kid. The girl. She's like in her 20s now. She's really cute, I think. These are all Uprocks stories so far. Because there's another one my friend Todd sent me, and it says, things got ugly when post-game dance-off evolved into a fight. And it's these two cheerleader groups. And this was on Friday night, believe it or not. There was this really weird fight that broke out. Again, it's on Uprocks. They're advertising for a show called Black Jesus on Adult Swim. That's pretty funny. Comedy Central, obviously, because it's Adult Swim. Oh, so apparently, I'm not even sure. I thought Adult Swim is on Comedy Central. Anyway, so apparently there was rules to dance-offs, really strict rules like don't get freaky, don't make contact with persons getting served, and above all else, don't pull someone's hair. So all the above had actually happened where this one cheerleading group decided to do a dance-off, but the one girl got really sarcastic. She smacked this other... It's a video. You can watch it in the video, too. Smacked this other cheerleader from another group in the back of the head. So obviously the girl started a fight, and the girls started rioting. But it's not only just the kids, it was the parents, too. The adults came out, and this riot was not only with children, but it was also with adults, if I remember hearing this correctly. And the kids were pulling each other's hair out, these girls. I mean, that's just too much. Yeah, two of the dancers at the high school in Texas appeared to break all the rules following the game in Wilmer Hutchinson Stadium last Friday. The result was a mini braca. I guess it was a break. It was a big fight caught on tape by a bystander. It says, as you can see in the video, one of the moms explains you do have a personal space that you are supposed to respect, in which that was not respected. So I mean, it was heated at one point. It says the fight involved both members of the drill team, students at the two schools, and even some adults. See, as I mentioned, both teams had since been suspended for activities for this week's game. Furthermore, the school district added impromptu impromptu dance-offs are not part of the approved performance for dance teams, and fighting is never acceptable. So disciplinary actions will be taken as appropriate. So it just says, so we have learned from this, do not turn your back on someone who is serving you. Don't disrespect an opponent by turning your back, because this girl did. Shouldn't really make a difference. And don't let your mom come down from the stand to protect you. We are much dumber now from knowing these things. Also, fighting is stupid. That's what they wrote on this story, and it said from via Fox 4. So if you want to read a really dumb article, there you go. Now, this one was really funny. It was a joke sent to me, and they did, because I really miss it. I had all the Seinfelds. I had the box set of all the seasons, and I got rid of it. Now, it's one of those things I regret selling, because I really love Seinfeld after watching it all. And it was an article, actually, this time on the NewYorkPost.com. Nap desks exist, and now you never have to leave the office. And they actually physically show a desk that converts on the bottom, just like in Seinfeld with George, but a little bit different. And it's basically the same premise, because it has a place you can actually sleep under your desk, and there's a place for a TV set, because I think George did that whole thing on the one episode. It says, finally, here's a desk we can actually get behind, or rather beneath. Greek design firm Studio NL has created a prototype on a nap desk, a sleek-looking workstation with a lower deck that doubles as a single bed. So, yeah, it's pretty funny, and that's based upon the desk. It says the nap desk conjures up the 1997 Seinfeld episode, The Nap, in which George Costanza discreetly sleeps in his office at the Yankee Stadium. That was funny. That was a hilarious episode. So somebody actually took that the next step and actually finally had made a real nap desk. And you can see that on a New York Post. So thank you, Todd, for that one. That one was good. Story that Todd sent me from his home where he's living now in Lancaster. And it's called LancasterOnline.com. Man, 41 jailed for assaulting a 6-year-old girl who looked at his phone. Well, you know what? I was going to make a comment. Maybe they should, with these idiots who have these blacked out windows, they can't see out their windows in their cars. Maybe they should make out, because they're that stupid to black out your windows so you can't see at nighttime, especially. Maybe they should make blacked out screens for your, for your phone. That way you won't have to worry about anybody looking at it, including yourself. Just put black, spray paint it black. And that'll take care of this problem. Anyway, it says a Lancaster man slapped and kicked a 6-year-old girl after she looked at his phone. Was the guy taking pictures of her, maybe? Now, Amit Yarrow, 41, will spend 8 to 23 months in Lancaster County Prison, followed by 2 years in probation for assault and other charges. It said the incident occurred on June 24th, 2014, inside the home of 700 block, in the 700 block Union Street. City Police reported. So this guy slapped a little kid for looking at her. She was looking at his phone. Good job, man. Hey, man, nice shot. I couldn't tell, but I had to say that. That song. Ooh. Sorry, I saw something that caught my eye. Anyway, Fox 43. Again, all these stories are from Todd, so thank you. Harrisburg man jailed for shooting victim whom he thought cut in line at a pizza parlor. Yes, this is a true story. Harrisburg, PA. A Harrisburg man, Gene Regard, will spend 4 to 10 years in state prison after he pleaded guilty to shooting a man whom he thought cut in line to take out, cut in the takeout line at a pizza shop last year. The incident happened on February 9th, 2014, at around 2:20 a.m. at Morocco's Pizza at 1701 Dury Street. When Harrisburg police officers arrived on the scene, they found an individual lying in a snowbank with a gunshot wound to his hip. According to the police, the victim was in line to order a takeout when he was jumped by several males because they believed the victim had cut in front of them in line. At some point during the fight, Rigard even thought he was not actually involved in the struggle, pulled out a firearm, and fired 2 shots at the unknown individual. This was revealed. Learned after police reviewed surveillance video from Morocco's Pizza. So, I didn't say that name right for that pizza shop. It's not even that big of a deal. So, yeah. And this guy who shot the gun was ultimately arrested and charged with aggravated assault, person not to possess firearm, and carrying a firearm without a license. So here this guy had a gun with no license, isn't that? And he shot somebody he suspected of cutting him out of cutting in front of him in line at 2:20 a.m. That's a little bit too much. That's actually a lot. That's a lot to say. In more ways than one. I just don't understand people. Anyway, on a lighter note, because I got it up now. There's no puns intended. Comicbook.com, new Marvel's Jessica Jones teaser trailer released. I don't know who Jessica Jones is, honestly. Netflix and Marvel Television has released a new teaser trailer for the forthcoming Defenders lead in Marvel's Jessica Jones. You can see there's a video below. It's just a teaser. Doesn't really say too much. It says Jessica Jones is based upon Marvel comic character created by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaidos in the Netflix series. Ever since her short-lived stint as a superhero ended in tragedy, Jessica Jones has been rebuilding her personal life and career as a post-tempered, sardonic, badass private detective in Hell's Kitchen. Okay, so this is in the same thing as Daredevil. Now, here's something interesting. It says Jessica Jones stars Kristen Ritter in the lead role. Now, get this, because I like this. David Tennant as Kilgrave. David Tennant was the Doctor Who from a couple seasons ago on Doctor Who. Obviously, he played the Doctor. Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, and Rachel Taylor as Pasty Walker, as well as Carrie Ann Moss, Eka Darville, Aaron Moriarty, and Will Travel. Okay, so that's Daredevil. So yeah, this is definitely in the Daredevil universe. I'm not really familiar with her character, though. Again, even though I just try to read it. So that was on comicbook.com. Anyway, another story on Fox 43. School district bans game of tag to ensure physical, emotional safety of students. Can you believe this? This was in Mercer Island, Washington, I think. What's WA? I think that's Washington. Anyway, it says kids at Mercer. Yeah, I already read that. Yeah, now the kids are being banned from a childhood game of tag because they're afraid kids are going to get hurt, I guess. Parents told Q13 Fox News in Seattle that they had no idea about the ban until their kids told them. Now moms and dads are asking why they weren't part of the decision-making in this process. So you can't even play a simple game of tag. So yeah, it's gotten to the point kids can't do any physical activity because they may hurt themselves. Pretty soon it's going to be even dangerous for them to walk out their front door because there will be a restriction against that. But yeah, this is on Fox 43. It's actually just fox43.com. So there you go. More of kids, making kids, taking more away from kids, even a simple game of tag. So, yeah, there was another story. I'm going back and forth on comicbook.com. Follow up from the story before this last one. Matt Damon would do Daredevil movie with Christopher Nolan directing. He's actually made that offer. See, I like the TV series right now. I'd hate to have another Daredevil movie now. Matt Damon gave an extensive interview to New York Daily News this week supporting The Martian. Now, I really want to see The Martian movie. That looks really good. The same guy who actually did the Alien movies. He talked about thinking Defagate was overblown and how Ridley Scott pulled him out of an 18-month vacation from acting. But when it comes to superheroes, it says Damon feels like his one desire or opportunity already passed him by. For us, it would always be Daredevil, Damon said. He and a long-life friend, Ben Affleck, both had conversations about doing the movie in 2003. That's the comic we read when we were kids, so I didn't know that. I know Ben Affleck played Daredevil. But when that one came along, I chickened out because I couldn't tell I hadn't seen the director Mark Steven Johnson's work, and I didn't know, so I just said no, and Ben was like, I got to do it. So basically, I guess they intend to have Matt Damon do it at first, but then he backed out, so Ben Affleck did it instead. It wasn't that bad of a movie, actually. Ben Affleck did a pretty good job with it. So he ended up marrying that woman, so. But if you want to read it properly, unlike me, look on comicbook.com. And there's a couple stories. That Green Inferno started yesterday too. There's been a lot of stories, different links. I probably got more than one, but this one's on bloodydisgusting.com about the Prometheus. And they say it's not going to be actually anything to do with Prometheus. It's going to actually be more so a prequel to the Alien movies. I mean, Prometheus, yes, was a prequel to Aliens, but it's not going to even have Prometheus probably in the name, I think. Just the other day, Ridley Scott shocked us all by revealing plans for up to 3 Prometheus sequels. What he didn't say is he's retitling them, so they're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be called Prometheus. In a fresh interview with Hey You Guys, Scott firmly reveals that the new title to Prometheus 2 is going to be called Alien Paradise Lost. I can only assume that Prometheus has a lot of negative connections, being that it wasn't well received. I still love it, so Fox and Scott have decided to insert Alien into the title to boost its marketing value. So he wants to do another 3 Prometheus movies, which were technically Prometheus was supposed to be a prequel to Aliens. So now he's going to change, since Prometheus did not go over that big, that there's going to be 3 more sequels, which would be a total of 4 before the original Alien movie, but they're going to simply have Alien in the name. So. And it says Prometheus sequels would eventually interconnect with Alien. So maybe he decided the best way would be to title have the title Live in the Same World. Again, if you want to reread this stuff and read it correctly, just check. This one was on bloodydisgusting.com. Apologize, I didn't give you the day. It was the 24th, which was, 2 days ago. Sorry, I almost said yesterday. Alrighty, let's see what else I have, folks. Yeah, actually another Ridley Scott, Prometheus involved into Alien Paradise. It says another story. This one was actually yesterday. The other one was the day before yesterday. This one was yesterday. Another story. So they keep on putting a lot of stories on Bloody Disgusting about Prometheus. The recent news of the second Prometheus film was retitled to Alien Paradise Lost sent a lot of shockwaves through the internet, as it proved that the series, which already took place in the Alien universe, was going to connect with the original sci-fi horror franchise perhaps much sooner than we had anticipated. So they kind of rewrote the story the next day. That's pretty funny. And it's supposed to be a completely different story. This is the one I actually wanted to, this story I want to read now was on therichest.com. Yes, it's called therichest.com. And this was the one I wanted to follow up with Batman. I totally forgot about it, actually. And it's called Superman's Top 10 Stupidest Powers. Because that would have been probably, they're both DC, they're both superheroes, and they're going to be fighting against each other by next year. So it would have been perfect, and I screwed it up. So his stupidest powers, number 10 was super time. When Superman turns back time, what was that? Superman 1 or 2, I can't remember. Christopher Reeves. That was and Super Kiss is number 2 as being a stupidest power, and they show a picture from the comic book of Superman and Wonder Woman. Number 8 was number 8 stupid power is super telepathy. So that's in the comic book. Next is number 7 super ventriloquism. Actually, I kind of thought that was cool, at least on the TV series. Yeah. You know what? If you want to read this on riches.com, it will tell you why it's the stupidest thing. I'm not going to bother to do so at this time. It's 5 o'clock. Super hypnosis is number 6. Again, you can see these and read the under captions if you like to yourself. Number 5 was super friction. I don't even want to think about that one. But yeah, it's something else. I'm just thinking the wrong way. Number 4 was super landscaping. And number 3 was super math. If I had more time, I would read the captions, but it's 5 in the morning. The next one, number 2, is super weaving. That one's just hilarious. He's like weaving a... says... Oh, this one is like the cartoon says, soon on land, the unraveled, the unharmed silken threads, they dried in the sun. Now my super weaving will convert them into a modern wedding gown. And that was from the comic book. I don't know what year that was. And number 1 was mini Supermans. So... another comic book one. So, yeah, again, you can read the underlying stuff, the statements underneath these, because they have captions too. Well, I read the captions, but I mean pictures, and then you can read it more into it if you'd like to. Again, on theriches.com. I could be all through my stories, folks. That'd be great, because... yeah, I think I am. Yeah, so it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, I usually am in bed by now, at least, even on the weekends. There was something I didn't really look at. I wanted to see it. There was a new single by Shay, I think, S-I-A, the woman who would never show her face. And it's funny, though, because it says Shay tells story behind a new single, Alive, reveals Demi Lovato, Katy Perry declined her songs. Shay's new single, Live, is out today. But anyway, the interview is with a mannequin head and a wig. So it's once again, I guess, she does not like showing, she's very shy in front of a camera. So she's like pretty much not showing her face. It's pretty funny, actually. But yeah, it's a new video she did too. Yeah, Australian artist Shay has become one of the music industry's most prolific songwriters, penning mega single from Rina Diamonds, Neo, Let Me Love You, and Beyonce's Pretty Hurts, in addition to author and hits for her own albums, including Best Of, and it goes into 1,000 Forms of Fear. Yeah, I think the person who did an interview on her, by the way, was Ryan Seacrest. But it's just funny because it's like literally a mannequin head with up at a mic with the headphones on, like doing a radio show. But it's, I guess, you know, she always has somebody stand in, or she will not show. She's too shy to be publicly shown. So you always generally see the back of her head or something if she does do anything live, or even in her videos, she doesn't like to show her face. So she's got some type of phobia, I guess, about that. I don't know why, but everybody has their quirks. I know I do too. So everyone, yeah, I'm going to sign off. Hope I didn't bore you too much. And, you know, try to see if I do another show this weekend. I'm not sure yet. So have a good one on this Saturday morning. I'm signing off.